Let's set the scene. The year is 1224. Europe is, well, it's in turmoil. High on a remote Italian mountaintop called Laverna, a man arrives at a monastery. He's carrying a sword on his back and a much, much heavier burden in his soul.
So, you've got this place, Laverna. It's all about intentional poverty and peace. It's home to the followers of Francis of Assisi, men who have given up everything worldly. And into this quiet little sanctuary walks a warrior. I mean, his boots are worn, his skin is weathered from a foreign sun, and he stands with that practiced ease of someone who is just used to the weight of a sword. He is a living, breathing contradiction to everything this place stands for.
So who is this guy? His name is Raphael of Acre, and he's a veteran of the brutal Fifth Crusade. But he hasn't come here for shelter or for food. No, he's come seeking an answer to what feels like an impossible question. After everything he has seen and everything he has done, how can a man trained in the art of war ever truly hope to find peace?
You can imagine the monks, right? They are not used to visitors, so they're buzzing with excitement. But Brother Leo, one of the original followers, he's a little more cautious. He watches the soldier and calls out a traditional Latin greeting, "May God grant you peace." And the stranger's reply? It's quick, it's confident, and it's correct. This man might be carrying a sword, but he definitely understands the language of faith.
And then comes the revelation. Raphael explains that he's a knight of the Shield Brothers. When they ask him which crusade he fought in, he confirms it was the fifth, that recent, disastrous campaign in Egypt. And then he drops the line that just electrifies the monks. He was at the siege of Damietta. He was there when their own founder, Francis, famously crossed enemy lines to meet the Sultan. And just like that, in that one moment, we're pulled back with him, 5 years into the past, right into the heart of the conflict.
His words pull us right back to the siege of Damietta, 1218. See, to control Egypt, the Crusaders have to take this city. But they're blocked by this single, heavily fortified tower smack in the middle of the Nile. It's got heavy chains connecting it to the city walls, creating this impassable barrier. Every single attempt to assault it has ended in total disaster.
And the main reason they keep failing? It's this absolutely terrifying weapon, Greek fire. The defenders launch it from catapults. It's this burning liquid that just sticks to everything, to wood, to armor, to men. You can't easily put it out with water. It turns any assault ship into a floating inferno, making a direct attack on that tower pretty much a suicide mission.
So after months of getting nowhere, a scholar named Oliver of Paderborn comes up with this wild, audacious plan. First, they lash 2 ships together, creating this huge, stable platform. Then, on top of that, they build a multi-story siege tower, covering the whole thing in wet animal hides for protection. The goal? Ram this floating fortress right into the island and drop a bridge directly onto the battlements, bypassing all the lower defenses completely.
Raphael gets chosen for the first wave. Huddled under those steaming animal hides, he's trying to comfort his younger friend, Epdor, a farmer's son who is just shaking with fear. Their commander, Calpurnius, is whispering prayers in their ears. As their vessel crashes into the island, Raphael and Epdor storm the bridge. In the chaos, Epdor is struck down. Raphael thinks his friend is dead. His own sword is gone, so he grabs Epdor's abandoned flail and just fights with this savage ferocity he never even knew he had. It's a blind rage, and it's the only thing that keeps him alive.
Okay, fast forward 1 year. They've taken the tower, but the city of Damietta still hasn't fallen. The Crusader camp has become this pit of despair, just riddled with disease and indecision. Morale has completely collapsed.
Now, Epdor survived the battle, physically, but his mind didn't. He's deeply traumatized, suffering from what they call a sickness of the mind. He speaks to the ghosts of his fallen comrades as if they're standing right there. Raphael, his closest friend, is ordered to keep Epdor's visions a secret, to protect the boy, sure, but also the fragile morale of their order.
But, secrets don't last long in a desperate army camp. The papal legate, a ruthless politician named Pelagius, hears about the boy who speaks with the dead, and he sees Epdor's trauma not as a tragedy, but as a tool. He summons Raphael and demands his help to basically fake a divine prophecy, anything to rally the troops for one last doomed assault.
So think about this. Raphael is in an impossible position. You've got the Pope's representative, Pelagius, ordering him to exploit his traumatized friend for political gain. Then you've got his own commander, Calpurnius, reminding him of his oath to protect his brothers. And all the while, pragmatic military leaders like Sir John of Brienne know another assault is just pure folly. Raphael is completely trapped between his faith, his duty, and his loyalty to his friend.
And Raphael, he makes his choice. He looks the most powerful man in the entire Crusader camp right in the eye, and he says, "No. There is no prophecy," he declares. "Epsitor is a fool." It's an act of profound loyalty, an incredible act of defiance, and it will become the source of his deepest, most consuming guilt.
So back on the mountaintop in 1224, Raphael confesses the rest of the story to brother Leo. And here's the heartbreaking part. His defiance didn't save Eptor. After another failed assault, a furious Pelagius took the boy anyway. He tried to force a prophecy out of him, but Eptor, completely lost in his visions, saw something that terrified him so much, his heart just gave out. He died of sheer terror.
And this is where Raphael asks brother Leo the question that has been haunting him across continents and years. It's the paradox of the holy warrior, a question that just cuts to the very core of who he is. How can you live a life of mercy when you are trained in the art of war?
Brother Leo, he's a simple man of faith. He admits he just doesn't have the answer. But he knows who might. He leads Raphael across a narrow footbridge to this tiny, secluded hut on the edge of a cliff. Inside lives the founder of their order, a man known for his radical ideas about peace, a man Raphael actually met once before in the sands of Egypt, Francis of Assisi.
And in front of this frail, ailing man, Raphael just unburdens his soul. He confesses his deepest regret. He truly believes that by trying to protect Eptor, he doomed everyone. He thinks that if he had just made up the lie Pelagius wanted, the soldiers would have fought with purpose, and lives, including Eptor's, would have been saved. He's convinced their deaths are his fault.
Now, Francis doesn't just dismiss Raphael's guilt or offer some easy platitudes. Instead, he reframes the entire burden. He asks, "Did you not also give life to others?" And then he does something incredible. He takes a portion of that guilt upon himself, admitting his own failure to bring peace to the conflict, a failure that allowed men like Pelagius to thrive in the first place.
And then, as Francis is speaking, Raphael notices these dark marks on the old man's hands, the stigmata. In this moment of shared vulnerability, Francis offers not just a simple pardon, but a path forward. He tells Raphael that he is worthy of forgiveness, that his capacity for love and loyalty is stronger than his capacity for violence. And this, Francis insists, is the only way to heal.
Raphael may have found a path toward healing, but his story, well, it isn't the end. His search for peace is really just one small part of a much larger, unending cycle of human conflict, trauma, and the search for faith. A cycle that proves just how difficult and how necessary that search always is.
Let's jump forward again. 17 years pass, it's 1241, and a new catastrophe is engulfing Christendom. The Mongol hordes have shattered the armies of Europe. A young Hungarian warrior named Ferenc is one of the few survivors of the apocalyptic Battle of Mohi. Carrying his own scars, he's fled across a continent, arriving at the gates of Rome, only to find that city too is under siege. Another man of war, searching for sanctuary in a world that offers none. Just think about that. 17 years after Raphael found his peace on that mountaintop, a new soldier from a new war is looking for his own sanctuary. Friends' story is this stark reminder that this struggle is timeless. Each generation gets scarred by its own conflicts, and each survivor is left to find their own path to healing in a world that seems to create new wounds just as quickly as the old ones can heal. And that leaves us with a question that echoes from their age right down to ours. In a world of unending conflict, where is faith truly found? Is it in the certainty of the sword, in the righteousness of some grand cause? Or is it found in the quiet, agonizing, and deeply human struggle of the soul trying to find its own forgiveness?